All right, let's bring in RJ Barrett of the New York Knicks. RJ, let's first start off with this because these are unprecedented times. How are you doing, man?
To be honest, I'm doing great now. Just getting used to the rules, getting used to the quarantine. I have all my family and friends out here with me, so just I'm just living life.
Listen, I feel like the last time we caught up was at All-Star break in Chicago. When we think about your career so far, it's just been go, 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 go. When was the last time you've had this amount of time to yourself?
Never, never. This is this is really different because even in the summers, normally you're still working out, you're still playing, you're still flying different places. So it kind of like basketball really never stops. But like now at this time, it's like, what do you do? Like, there's so much time to relax, and you know, you got to take the good with the bad.
Listen, I really want to focus on you, but we got to talk about the dog. Can you introduce us to your friend? I know this is one of two dogs that you have.
Yeah, yeah. This is the second one I got. This is Kobe, little brindle dog, French bulldog. He just likes to chill. He just chills and sleeps all day.
Oh man, so cute. All right, RJ, in this time, there's so much going on, as you mentioned, a lot to process, but through all of that, you still have decided to show up for your community, donating almost up to $250,000 to both Canada and New York City, and 100,000 of that money going to the Mississauga Food Bank, and that will help in their efforts to really assist people on the front lines. Talk about why it was so important for you to step up and help out any way that you could.
I want to help people. I feel like growing up, so much was given to me, and I had great opportunities. So any way I can help, it feels great. There's a lot of tough times, a lot of things going on during this pandemic. So for me to be able to give back and help a family in need, it really means a lot.
And that is not surprising to a lot of people because when we look at your family, I feel as though community has been a huge value that they've instilled
Hmm.
in you. Would you agree?
For sure, my parents always told me like never forget where you came from. It is when you go out into the world, it's easy to forget things, but I was always taught to remember, the people that helped me get to where I am, and just trying to give back to those people for sure.
Well, RJ, it is National Nurses Week. If you could send a message to nurses and all those on the front
Mhm.
line, what would it be?
It's funny. My grandma actually was a nurse for a very long time. She retired. She's here with me. They're trying to call her back into work and stuff. So just want to tell all the nurses that we really appreciate you, and that really means a lot to me. Seeing that I have nurses in my family, so we're all very thankful for you and for keeping us healthy and safe, and we're staying at home for you.
RJ, as I mentioned before, the last time we caught up, Chicago, when you think about your first year in the league, what is this
Hmm.
book going to look like? I mean, you have a strong year one, and then all of a sudden it comes to a halt because of this global pandemic. Have you had any time to process any of this?
I will say I feel like I've had one of the craziest rookie years ever. It's so many things have happened, and this pandemic is kind of like I don't know. I wish we did finish the season, but I don't know. I'm all over the place. I'm learning the NBA, and I mean it's great. Everything that's kind of happened is just gonna help me in the future. And also I feel like when things are harder now, things are like uncertain now, that it only makes for like when you go further in your career, things are just going to get a lot easier and a lot better.
I feel like there has to be some kind of group chat for like a year one support group because I mean, I'm sure a lot of rookies are going through this right now. Have you
Hmm.
talked to Shea? Have you talked to Nikhil, Zion? What are they saying?
Hmm. Yeah, I've definitely talked to those guys a little bit. Everybody's kind of just going through the same thing, just at home, nothing to do. Just especially guys with dogs, they're kind of enjoying their dogs, but it's just like, what do you do? Just work out, watch Netflix. That's all we do.
And we see you on TikTok. I mean, that seems to be a new hobby of yours.
Mhm. Yeah, see, I wasn't really like gonna get into it like that, but my brother kind of forced me to do a dance, and I ended up liking it. I made a couple, so it's cool. I like TikTok. I watch TikToks. Like you could do that all day too.
Listen, I feel like this is like the biggest question. Do you
Mm.
have a basketball net outside of your home? Because I feel like a lot of players actually don't.
Mm. I have two of them. I have two of them outside. My friends and I, we compete all the time out there, so it's great, and still being able to get my competitive spirit out, trying to beat up all my friends out there. So yeah, it's fun. I could definitely have two of those outside.
Have you had any time to look at any of your film or tape over the season now that you have a little
Mhm.
bit more time on your hands?
I was actually doing that like 30 minutes ago, to be honest. I've been watching all my old games, watching all film breakdown from this year, trying to get better, studying the great players, just all sorts of things. I watched The Last Dance with my family every Sunday night. So just a lot of basketball, trying to learn and get better.
Okay, since you went there, take it there because if you were looking at tape from this year and you could pick one player, who was that player that welcomed you to the NBA?
Wow, there was a couple of moments.
I had to.
There was a couple of moments. I remember the first one it was preseason, first game in the Garden. So it was our second preseason game, and I was guarding Bradley Beal, and I don't even know. He had the ball. I don't even know what move he did. All I know is he stepped back and hit a three, and then he was like, "Welcome to the league, Rook." And then the whole bench started, talking to me. So that was one, and the other one was Devin Booker. I mean, he gave us 40, and he was really hard to stop. So just those are my two moments.
All right, you and the family are watching The Last Dance right now. What are your
Mhm.
thoughts?
No one really knew, what Michael Jordan was going through or how he was thinking. That man he really overcame a lot, and to get to where he was, and I really admire his focus and his competitive drive. He had one goal, and that was to win, and he did whatever he needed to do. So I really like that, and it's also a great family bonding time. We all get together and watch. So it's great both ways.
Who's busting your chops more, mom or dad?
Mom, just because we're in the house, so everything has to be clean all the time. Everything's clean this, clean that. So mom's getting honest. Mom's getting honest, but it's good. It's all love.
All right, RJ, and before we go, I mean, I know it's not the best thing to do to look ahead, but let's
Mm.
look back. What's the one thing you miss about the game so much right now?
The one thing I miss, really, for me, is just playing in the Garden, because competing against the best players in the world on a nightly basis, especially in the Garden, there's no place like it. I miss the fans and just hearing them cheer and everything. And I really miss competing and trying to prove myself. That's what it is. I'm a really competitive guy. My family's really competitive, so I really miss that part of the game.
And what are you looking forward to now that you've kind of had a time to step back and really,
Mhm.
assess your performance and what you've done? What are you looking forward to improve upon?
To improve upon, really, really everywhere. Trying to get my efficiency up. Free throw shooting, all areas of the game. Defense, because defense is really hard. Your first year in the league, so just trying to improve on many different areas.
RJ, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.